It was a long off-season for us Roosters faithful, but for our next guest, it was an extremely long season altogether. He's come back after a fairly long layoff with an ACL injury, but he's back this weekend. He's our favourite at Radio Hub, and he's a fan favourite, the one and only Luke Keary. Luke, welcome to Roosters Radio, Season 1, Episode 1 for 2022.
Thanks for having me back, Silk.
Now, look, there's so many questions, and we put it out to our fans across the social platforms. You are a fan favourite. We've got a heap of questions. Unfortunately, we couldn't get through all of them. But, mate, I'm just going to kick it off with one just about your rehab. Sean Chaffer wanted to know, what was the hardest part of your rehab?
Yeah, it was a different one. Obviously, the boys went up to the Sunshine Coast. I got left here with Lindsay, Billy and Suwali. So it was just a different process. Usually you're in and around the team. You get to go to the games on the weekend, get to walk out on the field, watch them train and do your thing. But we were just kind of in here. There was the five of us by ourselves. And, it was wouldn't say lonely, but it was just wasn't the best not being around the team all year.
And just from an upside, I suppose, getting an opportunity to spend some quality time with the family, mate. Yeah,
definitely. We're all locked down here in Sydney, so I think everyone got to spend quality time at home. And I took it. That's what I took it as, a kind of a bit of a blessing to spend time with the kids as they grow up and kind of be there during the day, which I'm not usually there.
Hey Luke, Belle's here. Just on those kids that you just mentioned, 2 beautiful babies now. Congratulations on the little one. I haven't spoken to you since the arrival. How are they going?
Yeah, they're going good. They the little one's nearly 1 now. It was a year ago. I had him in round 2 last year, and then had the injury in round 3. So nearly a year, and the older one's he's trucking along. So he's a madman.
That would have been quality time with them then, I suppose. Takes your mind off not having to play, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It was obviously Robbo's kind of said that when they went to the sunny coast, he wanted us to be with our family and spend time here with them. And I'll probably be forever grateful for him to kind of let us have that year.
I've actually been dying to know. I bet Amy's glad you're back this year, is she? You're back playing footy.
Yeah, I've been a bit prickly the last couple of weeks as we're getting closer.
Luke, let's just focus on the season ahead. We'll go back first, but we'll talk about the off season. You're back in training. Who's impressed you? During the pre-season?
Yeah, mate, we've got so many good young kids. I was saying to someone the other day, it's the crop of probably 17 to 20, 21-year-olds we have at the moment are top shelf. I haven't seen a group like this come through. And like you said before, you were in the other day, there's a bit of a buzz around the joint. We've got a big group of young guys that are just providing so much energy. They've lifted at standards and everything at training. And then probably the most impressive ones, obviously Sammy Walker, I think's maturity gone to another level. We've seen what he did last year and hopefully he can build on that. But just those boys that got game time last year that probably wouldn't have got as many games, your Fletcher Bakers, Satili Tupanuas, guys like that.
If you had to pick one, who would it be?
I think Fletcher's been awesome for us. Front rows, obviously, it's hard for those boys when they're young. He's kind of done his apprenticeship now over the last 3 seasons under Jared and those boys, and kind of seen him come of age a little bit this pre-season and step up as one of our good front rowers.
Mate, what about Brunswick Heads? I know Robbo takes the squad away every year. You've gone to Brunswick a couple of times now. What's that experience like? You want to give us a bit of an inner sanctum for our fans?
Yeah, it's awesome. We go up. We stay in Brunswick Heads there. Ginge obviously has the hotel there, so all of our meals and everything's breakfast, dinners are set up there. We spend a heap of time at the local footy club, Mullumbimby. So we train there during the week. We train at a few little local gyms. The first year we went out, we did some cooking with Matty Moran and went to the local markets and things like that. Mate, it's a different vibe up there. The locals are super relaxed and chill. They kind of let us do our thing when we go in there. But yeah, it's just a great place to be. It's got a good vibe about it. We go there, we work really hard, but we also enjoy kind of what those places up there have to offer.
Probably should just mention too, they're all doing it pretty tough up there in the Northern Rivers. So special shout out to all the people up there.
Yeah, we spoke about it the other day. I think the club's preparing to do some stuff, especially for the local footy club. They lost their field got flooded and they lost a lot of equipment. So I think the boys spoke about it yesterday and the admin, and I think we're going to do some stuff for them to help them get back on their feet up there.
So, sorry. Back to the footy, Luke. As Cooper said earlier, we put it out to the fans a lot for questions to ask you, and a lot that actually came in was about your rehab. I know there's been a lot of talk about it. However, I saw you last week with some media speak about that this has been a great month for you. Can you just tell us what that's been like leading up to the weekend of footy coming?
Yeah, obviously had the ACL, had a little ankle clean out about halfway through it too. So just had a few things I had to fix up, and then had a little bit of bone stress there in early January. So I got off the feet for probably 3 or 4 weeks, mixed a bit with COVID there. And then the last month, probably since the end of Feb, is just, it's been really good. I did a full block pre-Christmas, which got me ready. And I had those few weeks, which weren't ideal at the start of January. But yeah, the last kind of 4 to 6 weeks have been exactly probably what I needed leading into this season. And it's been physical. I've done the running. And it's just trying to just get back on the field now. It's what I'm looking forward to.
Mate, I want to talk about Sam Walker and the partnership that will develop over the season. I think it's fair to say you both have a similar style of game, like quite a roving half 5'8" kind of role. Do you see your style of play changing this year, having a younger kind of bloke to kind of lead around the park?
Yeah, a little bit. I think like playing with a senior playmaker like Cooper, you don't really have to think about kind of management of games and things like that. Whereas, with a young half and me being the more senior playmaker, you need to have that in the back of your mind. You need to be able to put the team in good positions with your kicking. You need to be able to know where the game's at and what's needed at that time. So I think you'll see a little bit of a change there about at certain times kind of pulling back a little bit and letting him kind of do his thing, and more taking the reins and trying to steer the boys around just a little bit more.
And obviously he was thrust into first grade at a young age. Mate, during the season last year, sitting on the sideline, where did you see the growth week in, week out from, when he started to when we finished the season?
Yeah, he obviously came in with a bang, which most of those really talented young kids do. And then after a little kind of patch, they figure out how tough it is and how much of a grind it is every week. And I think we've done it well here at the Roosters, being able to kind of pull those younger boys back when we need. But Robbo's kind of puts them in, then pulls them back, or they go on the bench, or they have a week off or something like that. So I think he learned a lot of lessons about how he needs to take care of his body, what he needs to do physically to get up for games, where he needs to be physically if he wants to be dominant, and probably just the speed of the game around him. And you've seen him excel last year, and hopefully he takes his lessons from 21 and he's a better player this year.
But will you play a traditional 6 and 7, Luke, or will it kind of change and chop and change throughout the games?
Yeah, I think we'll start traditional. I'll probably play more of that, as I said, senior playmaking role, more of a halfback role. Samuel, we just want him to be free, let him do his thing. But he is probably a natural. He's a natural halfback. I think his natural instincts to take over a game, and you've seen him dominate games already at such a young age. So, and probably my natural instinct is probably a 5'8" role. So I don't know how that's going to progress throughout the year, but you'll probably see him take over at some stage, that 7 role.
Bit of a scoop there for us Roosters radio fans there. Like that one.
Definitely. I can't wait. Can't wait to see this combination in action on the weekend. Luke, you mentioned earlier a lot of young players around the club now and the excitement's coming from them. What's it also like to have Connor Watson and Momorowski back in the squad, and how's that been for them coming back in for the Roosters?
Yeah, it's always great to get 2 guys back that everyone loves and respects. They're both, Mommers was here in 18 when we had the success, and Connor was so good for the club in 2016 and 17. So to get them back is always good, and the way they've come back and the way they've kind of put that little stamp on their team. I've seen the growth in both of them from when they left as kind of younger men to now they're into that kind of peak of their career, and you can just see I can see the change in them, and they've had a big effect on especially our younger boys.
Mate, Luke, Trent Robinson re-signed for 5 years. Great news for the club and I guess for the players as well. It leads me to another one of our fan questions. What makes players want to play for Trent Robinson?
Yeah, there's a lot of different reasons you want to play for someone. Obviously, probably the first ones, do they care about you? Like, do they genuinely care about you? Do they genuinely want to see you do better? Do they help you, become a better player? Are they actually putting the time into you? The work ethic, probably that he displays. You watch someone put so much time and effort and passion and heart into it. You're not going to walk out there on the weekend and let him down. It kind of drives you. But yeah, probably those two things are the biggest one. He shows you that he cares about you and your football and your family, and then the work ethic that he shows. Yeah, he's a great coach, and he's been rewarded for it.
Now, look, everyone's excited this weekend taking on the Knights on Saturday afternoon. I'm obviously excited to see the combo with yourself and Walker, but what are you most excited about for your first game back on Saturday?
I think just to run back out there. It sounds simple, but yeah, you just miss. I miss getting ready. I miss being nervous. That 5 minutes before you run out, and then I miss running out on the SCG and just playing footy. I think it's gonna be simple for me. Not try to complicate it too much, but yeah, I just want to put the jersey back on.
Mate, I speak for all Roosters fans when we say we missed you.
Thanks, Silk.
Now listen, last question from me, and it comes from Nathan Perk. Luke, he wants to know what's the best advice for a young boy or girl who aspires to make it in the NRL or NRLW. Any training tips?
Yeah, I think it's hard when you're young because you always, I remember how badly I wanted it, and I think it's just hard work. You go through stages as a young man or woman, and different forces will pull you different ways, lead you down different paths. But it all comes back to kind of, if you really want it, how bad do you want it, and how hard are you willing to work to kind of get it, and then kind of letting it go and letting the cards just fall.
Well, mate, Saturday 3:00 kickoff at the SCG. We can't wait to see you and the rest of the squad run out there, and best of luck on Saturday. Thanks for joining us on Roosters Radio.
Thanks for having me. See you out there.
See you, mate.
Thanks, Luke. Good luck, mate.